I toured 5 of the most popular childcare and preschool options here in North Las Vegas. And what surprised me the most is none of them could really explain why they were different from each other. They all sounded the same, but they're definitely not the same. And as a parent trying to make the right decision for my child, that was incredibly frustrating. In this video, I just want to share what I learned, what actually matters when choosing a preschool, and hopefully make this process easier for other parents. Like a lot of parents, I started looking deeper into childcare because of a situation with my child that made me start questioning everything: the environment, the supervision, the learning, the structure. And once you start going down that rabbit hole, you realize there are way more differences between programs than people talk about. One of the biggest things I discovered is that schools don't really explain how they compare to each other. They'll tell you their philosophy, they'll tell you their curriculum, but they don't really help you understand where they sit compared to other options. And that makes it really hard for parents to make an informed decision. Now, to be fair, one of the programs I toured actually did a much better job explaining things like teacher pay, leadership presence, and how that impacts quality, which I thought was very valuable. But overall, most places don't give that level of clarity. What I started realizing is that preschool programs actually exist on a spectrum, from more academic and structured to more play-based and social development focused. And neither one is automatically better. It just depends on your child and your goals. Some programs lean maybe 60% academic, 40% play. Others are closer to a 50-50 balance. Some are more like 30% academics and 70% play. And then some are heavily social development focused. And in some cases, like community programs, it can vary even more depending on whether you're in a state-funded curriculum program versus a private program. One thing that became very clear to me is that the biggest factor in quality isn't actually the brand, it's the teachers. Teacher pay, teacher satisfaction, leadership, and stability. Those things matter more than almost anything else. Now, that doesn't mean higher pay automatically means better teachers. Great leadership and structure can absolutely create amazing environments. But generally speaking, programs that invest more into their staff tend to have more stability and experience. Another thing I learned is that these schools can change a lot depending on the director. When leadership changes, teachers often change, culture changes, and the experience for families can change as well. Different programs also have very different levels of technology and security. Some have cameras, some don't. Some have newer facilities, some older. Those are things parents should consider based on what makes them comfortable. Another realization is that more expensive doesn't always mean dramatically better. Sometimes you're paying for things like facilities, branding, or features. And sometimes those things matter and sometimes they don't. If you're thinking about your child eventually going into kindergarten or elementary school, what really matters is whether they've had exposure to structure. That can come from a full-time preschool, a part-time preschool, district programs, summer programs, library programs, or even structured learning at home. The key thing is familiarity and routine, listening to instructions, transitions, sitting for learning time, interacting with peers. Even a short summer program before kindergarten can make a huge difference if your child hasn't had that experience before. The biggest lesson I learned is that the best preschool isn't the one with the best marketing. It's the one that fits your child and your family. Here are 5 tips to consider. Tour multiple places, ask about teacher tenure, observe transitions between activities, consider convenience and commute, and number 5, trust your instincts. I don't think there's one perfect answer for every family, but I do think parents deserve clearer information when making these decisions. Hopefully, sharing this experience helps someone else feel more confident in their choice. And at the end of the day, your child's happiness and safety matters more than any curriculum. Life's a marathon. Prepare to compete. Thanks for watching.